Usually.
Oh, okay, we made it. Woohoo.
Yay!
Sorry about that. We were yakking, and if you don't go live, when they say you're supposed to go live, for all of you Intuition of the Soul people out there, you have to start over. So I got freaked out.
All of a sudden I said, "Oh, look, we're supposed to." And the only reason why I noticed is because I had my camera in my hand to do something, and I went, "Oh, wait a minute."
Good thing Kitty's on the thing. Well, no, you don't have. Oh, there we go. Now we got someone joining us. All right. So this is Vibe of the Week live and then some. And Vibe of the Week and then some. I like that.
Hi,
All right.
Jennifer. And Thalia, hi. Blessings to you, Thalia.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. There you
well, you too, Jennifer. But uh, yeah, it's been a lot of energy going out there, and
go.
we're at this
Oh,
vibe of the week late because I went to
oh,
a
it's spooky.
Casadega, Florida, which is this psychic capital of the world, and the energy was pretty wild, and it just was too hard to fit it in. So thank you for your patience. But I think there's a good reason why Vibe of the Week is tonight, and because there is some wild energy out there,
But
folks.
first, before we get going, for anybody watching, happy Valentine's Day. You're all our Valentine for joining us tonight.
Yep, you
Yes.
you really are. So let's get vibing because we got a couple other things we want to do too.
Okay.
Um, Tonight on in Intuition of the Soul, and
Vibe of the
no
week
surprise,
and more.
and more. Um, it's been a wild kind of energy. We talked about it last week. It pretty much played out the way it was going to. And, that's sweet. And now we're in this next, you know,
Interesting phase.
yeah, it's, I did hear this, and I'm going to give credit to where it's due from Avalon Spirit, but it really is an accurate description right now. We're kind of going, and Amy got, what did you get in your meditation?
400 years in 4 days?
Day, 4 days, and
Yeah.
they were saying we're going through 100 years of growth in 4 years. In other words, it is really we've been talking about it speeding up,
Yes.
and if you find yourself looking to the side or using your peripheral vision, you might get a little nauseous. It's kind of that's why I'm pretty sure my word this word is adasum is am here. Just look ahead. Here's whatever comes in front of me is what I'm supposed to
Yeah.
deal with. If I pay too much attention to the side, I'll get kind of knocked over. So why don't
And
we
if,
start with the
you
cards?
even if you don't pay attention to the side, it's going to come in anyway. So you don't need to
Yep.
necessarily look for it because I've had a
Right.
lot of, I don't want to say blind sides, but side views today coming
Well,
in out of nowhere.
and they've come in front of her. The thing is, if you can tune out those side things that don't make it into the front of your path, that's where they're meant to do. It's kind of like a
Right.
little test of I'm just going to keep going. I don't want to go squirrel, which is really hard. So
Right, exactly, exactly. You don't have to do that because guess what? It's going to come in and then come into the front of you if that's what it's meant to do. So, all right, let's get the cards going. All right. Whew, boy, I had some energy, some crazy energy this morning, and a lot of messages and a lot of messages that kind of have been validated or resonated throughout the day. So, the first one was oh my gosh, I completely blanked. Okay. Let me get this. Okay. So the first one was about protection. Okay, now I remember. And it was just about because there is a lot of energy coming and there's a lot of high vibrational energy, but there's also some that's not going to be of the higher vibration that even though most of us have that protection thing down, it's not something maybe we consciously do or call in or bring to our awareness every day. We just kind of have that already established. Just saying, just put a little extra there or bring more of awareness or set more of a little bit of an intention for it this week. because there is a lot of energy. There's a lot of strong energy. And I feel like it feels like there's some resistance energy for those of us that are of the higher vibration, and we are following our path and creating this light for the world. Those that necessarily don't want the light, don't see the light, don't agree with us, are pushing a little bit harder. So that's why just maybe that protection is there, along with the discernment and the that being sovereign with yourself. So it feels like also that there's some energy coming in that may look like it's coming in for um, for the good, or I can't think of how to say that, but it might not be. So what it's saying is just use that discernment. What do you want to listen to? What do you want to resonate with? Who do you want to surround yourself by? So staying in that higher vibration. And if you get a feeling, I mean, trust your intuition. If you feel like something doesn't feel like it's serving you or serving that higher purpose, you know, just protect yourself and you know what you need to do with that. It's not a fear thing. I don't want it to be a fear thing, like there's something fearful coming in. It doesn't feel like that at all. It's just about staying in that higher vibration, because the energy is so powerful and so strong this week and the cards that I got from Metatron, I just want to show you right now, and then I'm going to tell you a little story. This is the first one, 23, duality. And this is kind of where we are right now with duality. There seems to be two sides, polar opposites, opposing forces, whatever you want to say, and however it resonates with you. This is where we're at, the light and the dark. This is kind of where it feels like the energy is coming in with this. So what do we need to do? Number 18, this is Mother Earth. Ground and stay grounded. And when I think of Mother Earth too, I think of nurturing. So nurture yourself. And that's why if something isn't resonating with you, do stuff, let me put it this way, do stuff that brings you to your higher vibration, brings you to joy. Spend your time with those type of people, do those type of activities. Just stay in that vibration of joy. And Mother Earth grounding, the best way you can do that also is to be outside in nature. The next card I got was 53, codependency. Okay. This is key to freedom. Okay. This card is codependency is kind of being locked in, and goes a lot along with this, being locked into that vibration of, your side or my side, right? And that's that codependency too. So you might be feeling that I don't agree with you, and maybe it's time that, oh gosh, I'm having a really hard time spitting this out right now, Kitty. I should have let you go first. But I don't know if I'm making sense or just rambling at this point.
It's the energy.
It is the energy, but I know what I want to say. I'm just having a hard time getting it out. But the codependency energy too can be that someone that is not in the same vibration as you are. So what do you need to do about it? And you have that key to freedom. You do not have to be locked into anything. You don't even have to be locked into a way of thinking or acting. If you decide, because there's a lot of awakening going on too. So if you decide something doesn't serve you anymore, pick up the key, unlock the lock, and separate yourself from it. So it's about that nurturing, that discernment, that sovereignty of yourself, knowing what you need to do for yourself, and protecting yourself, and holding that vibration of joy and that vibration of light, even though there might be energies that are coming in that are trying to not let you get there or not want you to go there. So what are you going to do about it? That's up to you. We all have free will and choice. But if you can do that, if you can stay in that higher vibration, find those things that are joyful for you, those activities, what you're taking in. And what I mean by that, what are you watching? What are you interacting with online? What are you watching on the television? Who are you, I'm sorry, for myself, I can speak for myself. Sometimes it's people in your own family that don't necessarily bring your vibration up. So just have some discernment with that. What are you taking in, and how is it impacting your vibration? Because if you can be of that higher vibration, we're holding it now. We're holding it now for the collective. Those of us that are of that higher vibration are holding it for the collective. So we need to be stronger, if that makes sense. We need to be stronger in our resolve, because we are holding it for those right now who are unable to get there, those that want to get there, those that are awakening to that higher vibration and are having difficulty. We are holding it for them. And if we can do that, the star card. And in the star card, I expect miracles. Okay, there we go. Look at how beautiful that is. Now, this is us. This is what we're holding. These are these beautiful souls that are watching tonight, the light workers, the star seeds, the light leaders, any of those people. This is us. This is what we're holding for the collective. I love that. I just love that. Expect miracles with the star. And then the sun. Oh, how can you not love the sun? The sun is...
The sun and the stars. Pretty much got the continuum, don't you?
There you go. And look at that. She's rejoicing. So, I'm sorry. This is us holding on to that energy, and this is who we're holding it for. We are holding that for these people. Oh, jeez, I hate this backwards camera. We're holding it for these people. So this is the feeling. So we can give them the sun, right? So this is the vibration that we can put out there and bring out to the earth right now, to the collective, to those people that are having a hard time holding on to it, staying in it for themselves. We need to do it for them. Okay, I'm done babbling because I feel like all I did was babble. So I hope that makes sense, even a little bit. And I'm a kitty.
Because it's funny, because I'm going to be talking about the duality of that. So that space that we're holding for all those amazing, beautiful reasons is also the space we're holding for the law of attraction that we bring back to us. And so when we hold that more expanded vibration, I'm going to start to use denser and expanded versus because we are working on taking that vibration, those more expanded vibrations, and literally making them denser, so we move all of us up. What is more common, we move up. And so when we hold that vibration you're talking about, that's the amazing gift we give back to ourselves, because that's what we attract. That's why it is important that you stay protected. It is important that you stay focused on where you're going. It is important because those are the people that will come to you versus how I get sidetracked inside. And it is a very strong, it's not going to go lightly, folks, this denser vibration. People aren't going to go, oh, yay, the light has showed up. No. It's a change, and it evokes fears, and it's different, and it's not as able to be seen. So, that's the other reason we hold it, that we hold the star so the sun can shine. All right. on to the stars. So I don't think you babbled at all, Amy. So,
Okay.
um, so today's big focus is that
Maybe babbling is
Mercury.
not a good word. Maybe it's supposed to be channeling because I just felt like I
Channeling.
didn't know what I was saying. It was just coming out.
Okay, that's better. She was channeling, which is
Okay.
hard, which is a little bit. I get that because I'm like, where did I leave off? What was I saying?
Well,
So
right, because you're
today,
trying to put your conscious thought into it, and when you do that, it stops the flow.
well, plus we've been talking about giving Avalon that it's going so fast by us that
Yes.
we're only being led to the next step. When I look, I was just saying to Amy, when I look at the astrological chart this week and I look at the planets, it really almost all of the energy falls between a little piece of Virgo and just to barely Pisces. So it's a really big concentration of the planets, and of course they keep crossing over Pluto, so every time they're crossing over, jing, there's a transformation, bing. And so that's kind of how it's feeling, why we have to go forth, because it's like, oh wait a minute, that changed, oh wait a minute, this is coming, it's coming at us. And so energetically, this really is, the planets are telling us to ground, the planets are telling us just look ahead. It's coming, it's rolling, it's moving on, and you're getting information. So today, speaking of information, is the biggie was that Mercury moved it back into the sign of Aquarius. It had retrograded on just, I think it was January 25th, but it's now gone back into Aquarius and is going back to where it kind of left off as it was moving forward. So this is the second time in Aquarius for us in this year already, and this is really about the perceptions of what's happening. This is the visionary perceptions, which is why Spirit is kind of focusing you ahead. What's the vision? What is that, what you're talking about, that energy to hold? Sometimes that kind of denser vibration is about you letting go of something, talking to you. I'm pointing to my shoulder because I'm very aware of a new guide that's going to be going about the trickster, what's happening in the background. So all that said, our full moon is a Leo moon, you know. So and
I'm Leo.
Leo, yeah, Leo is the sign of self. Leo is what is the sun. It's who we are. It's our core. So Leo moon is asking you to dig deep into that inner child, that it's the 8, it's infinity. It's asking you to dig deeply into that and pay attention in this moon to nurture who you are. And that's of course going to be coming on the 16th. So interesting leading up to it though, because I look at the 15th tomorrow, and it's earth, 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 water. Earth, 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 water. And they're not exactly having a great conversation with each other. They're just there with this Leo moon. And so the moon is shining on the earth, and the earth is kind of just asking you to hang out with it tomorrow, to get ready, to get your things together, because then the very next day, again, this is a very tight group of planets. We're talking them, they're succinct. They are in succession this week, how they're showing up. On that Leo moon, which is actually earlier in the morning, your own moon steps forward for a good portion of the day, and what's available is energy, is Sagittarian truth. So what are your truths that you want to be the core of you on this Leo moon coming forward? And then on the good old 17th, day of our sound healing, so please mark your calendars, 8 p.m. We have a special gentleman coming in to do sound healing on a day that it's a great thing, because what is the only other planet that's not kind of in that tight group is our Taurus energy, our home, our who we are. And it wants to be activated. It wants to be in that energy of expansion, looking at coming into the 17th on Thursday. And then on the 18th, welcome Pisces. We leave this Aquarian visionary air intellectual energy and we move into Pisces. We're about to get a lot of Pisces planets. And Pisces is that imagination. Jupiter is also, and Neptune, going to be stepping forward succinctly at that point, and it's about how can I see my imagination, that dreaming, that Christ consciousness. But remember, the denser vibration of that is suffering, is addictions. So this is part of that whole idea that we have a lot of beautiful energy available, but it can be equally as overwhelming sometimes as, and there are people, there is an energy out there trying to kind of enclose upon itself. And so just being aware of what's in front of me. And when I don't know, I can send the energy I want ahead or to those things that are my obstacles. So when I greet it, it's hopefully expanded in its vibration. And Taurus is stepping forward. It really wants benevolence. It's money. It's our ethics. It's how we treat each other. What do we want to see life to be? And we've got all of this Pisces energy becoming available starting this week to get that flow going. And then on the 19th, we have working in the background still this Mercury bringing us this communication it's gotten from our new structures that are being put together. So it's a tight week. It's a week that's moving along, but it's about you looking ahead. And remember, self-care is what you don't stop and do. It's what you do all the time in your day. And this is a great week to be looking at grounding myself and how is self-care. Self-care is your life, and the other things go into it, versus, I stop along enough to take care of myself. And that's a big paradigm shift that we're doing, because this is about communication. This is getting our station ready for this new awakening that is coming more and more and more. So, Maria, yeah, happy birthday. Maria says the 17th. So it's a power. They're always powerful weeks, but this is one where grounding is important, protection's important, because keep your eyes ahead. And what is the life you are getting ready to magnify in this great Pisces consciousness coming forward?
And I remembered one other thing that I wanted
and that
to
stopped at 22 minutes, just so you know. So
cool. So the other thing I wanted to say about this energy, I know this came to me this morning, but I heard it a couple other times today too. So I thought, okay, well, this is something, was about that there's some karma coming up right now. There's karmic things, and it feels like it's maybe karmic things with past lives. So if you can think about, how, again, if you think about in what Kitty just said, what you put out, you bring back to you, that kind of thing, that kind of karma. So it feels like there's some karmic things coming up, in maybe even from past lives. I had that this morning, but they were coming back not to, not in a bad way, but they were coming back to just say, we're here with you now. And when you push forward and when you go forward into this higher vibration, you're healing us back here as well. And that was kind of what I felt like. So if you find some karmic things,
and then they send that forward. So again, it picks up. Yeah, it's it's really important that, especially even if you study sounds, that you understand that vibrational, depending on like emotional vibrations, more positive, like love and happiness and joy and enlightenment vibrations are physically higher. This is physical. And anger is a denser vibration. It's intensely meeting what's around it, but the other one is able to spread out, which is kind of why we pay attention to those denser vibrations, because they're more readily felt immediately. So,
Well, that was just one thing I wanted to add, because I had heard something else and I felt that way this morning. It came up for me. It was about a karmic, but it was just like you said. I love how you said that, Kitty, that it was coming up, but it was coming up, those past life karmic things were coming up to say, we're with you and we're moving forward with you and you're healing me. So thank you for that, because that did That is what I was feeling. So I'm going to
Yeah.
pull some last few cards here. Two of them flew out, which these go along really good with what we're talking about. Set your intentions.
There it is. There it is. Set your
Set
intentions.
your intentions. Okay. So, and that's what Kitty was talking about. Look forward, look ahead, look what's in front
Right,
of you.
right in
This
front of
stuff's
you. Yeah.
coming here, but you're looking there, you're focusing there. Even though it's coming here, if it's meant for you to pay attention to it, it's going to move in front of you. You know, I had that happen several times today. So, and never judge another. Okay, so this is not about judgment. This is not about judgment in your karma. This is not about judgment in someone who doesn't see things exactly the way you see them. This is not about judgment if people are codependent in certain situations and that you're grabbing the key and unlocking and moving away. It's not about judgment. So
Nope. It's more about responsibility. It's not what's working for me and what I want right now. You know,
right,
detach.
right on.
Hopefully, detach with love, but detach.
There you go.
Um,
Enjoy, love and joy.
so yeah, it's
Favorites.
and that's judgments are hard. To realize when they are judgments, including our own self judgments.
Yes.
Very hard.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then it's because
I
it's
kind
even
of had
harder.
that too a little bit. The ego.
Yeah. The ego is always a piece of it, but the ego is something to make friends with. And the more I work on that vibration that is more expansive, the more my ego doesn't feel like I'm in survival mode, fight or flight.
Right.
And
Right.
it starts to recognize, she's at it again. So
Yeah, not again. Not
You know,
again, Kitty. No, I'm just teasing. All right.
I started my morning this morning. We're about to go into our next piece. I started my morning this morning with something called a night-crested, black-headed night-crested heron. But anyway,
I'm sorry.
crown.
You know what flew in my mind? Pickled heron.
What?
And it's pickled
Yeah.
heron. And it's not pickled.
Yeah, a black crown night heron. And
That's
they
big
lit.
shit, isn't it?
Yeah, and it was down in the thing, and I was very quiet. And we kind of made eye contact, and I sent higher energy out because, again, trying to send that and surround people and get it in our own torus, our energy field. And I was able to walk by it and he stared, and then I was kind of walking up and down my yard in my labyrinth, which is really about hunting for other things, but that's another story. And
Yeah, we'll skip that.
I walk in a grid pattern, and I turned around, and it had come out of the water and was standing there, and I was like, "You waiting for me?" And the bird kind of went like this. And when they're mating, they have these two feathers, and it went up. And we just kind of made eye contact, and I said, "Okay, I'm going to walk in my path." And the bird walked over, and I was able to walk right by the bird twice before it kind of nodded and flew off. It was a very interesting exchange. And when I looked at it, it was about that peace and about coming to understanding with determination. And one of the things we wanted to talk about tonight is just learning to do that. How do I take this, find peace and determination where we go when I'm just starting? So we wanted to talk a little bit about the Spirit 101 class that's coming up called Navigate
And if I
Your
can
Way.
interrupt you for just a second, going back
Not
to
right
your
now.
bird story there,
Uh-huh.
is, and it relates to the Spirit 101 class, is not only to be able to find peace in that determination, but to be able to stop in that moment and say, okay, what is here for me? What is this lesson supposed to be? Or what am I learning about? Or why did this happen? And I think that we can walk through life without noticing things, and there's just so much around us that is coming into our awareness that we and this is the opposite of where we're supposed to be looking ahead, where that's all we do and we never notice anything to the side of us. So
Yeah, And that awakening is, how do I know, when do I look to the side and
Yeah.
go that way
Mm-hmm.
as it's a path, or is it no, what's right in front of me? And it is about learning that if it's meant to come across your path, it will come across your path.
Right.
The
Right.
rock I bought this time was faith,
Mm.
for a palm stone, and it also had this really cool background on it. Isn't that cool?
Oh, I do
Somebody
like
painted.
that. What are
Yeah.
those little things? Flip
I have
flops? Oh
no, I
no,
have no idea. They look
it's
like
hard to
feet.
see with them.
No, they do look like feet and footprints, but it's
Yeah,
a
they
grid.
do.
So,
Oh,
um,
very cool.
and so, we this class is called navigating. It's about navigating, and it really is for those folks out there that are listening, or maybe you have friends that have been asking you questions, and it's kind of an overview of, as you awaken, practices, best practices, some basics about protection, some basics about communicating with each other, um, you know, how you deal with readings, how you deal with different, how you deal with the people around you as you start speaking differently. Do I hide everything I say, or can I
Mm-hmm.
speak my truth without getting it, engaging in it being about judgments? That's how we started this, and I have to prove I'm right. So
Mm-hmm.
it is a course to talk about those things and kind of give some parameters to take a look at it. Maybe you
And
want to
I
tell them a little
love
bit
how
more?
we set it. Yeah, I love how we set it up too, because we set it up where the first part, the first week we look at ourself and our own awareness and all those things that Kitty was mentioning. How am I, walking this path? What are things that I don't understand or that I need to understand? Sometimes there can be fear in the not understanding something. The fear of the unknown, I guess is what I'm saying. So we set it up for self. So we take a really good look at yourself and how you're navigating your path and your awakening. And then the second week, we open it up just for a discussion. And that might resonate with some people. Some people might say, I don't like to come in and talk about myself, but still come and be part of the discussion, because I guarantee someone will say something that you'll go, oh, yeah, that was what I was thinking. That was the
Mm-hmm.
question I had. Or, wow, I never thought of that. Because there'll be enough people that will want to share. But the beauty in that is, as they're sharing their story, you are resonating with it and your own story. There's that feeling of, oh, I'm not alone, or I'm not the only one that goes through that. There's other people, so there's a sense of community in that, and so that is the way we set it up. I think is perfect, because you can come back with questions, comments, clarifications, whatever you need to do, or just come back to listen to other people's stories. And then the next part, where we do the instructional part, is about the collective, and how do you fit into the collective? And that means just, how do you interact with groups and other people, and people maybe outside of your inner circle? How do you want the world to see you? How are you presenting yourself? So that is the bigger picture, how you are functioning in the collective. And then we come back with the discussion again. And as Kitty and I are former teachers, there's always a little homework that we'll have to give you. So when you come back, you don't have to think, oh gosh, what am I going to say? Because you'll have some stuff from your homework to talk about. And then the third part is just integrating all of this, integrating yourself and the collective into one. And how does that look for you on your journey? So, and then again, we'll have that big discussion kind of wrap up, where you can come back and we'll talk about, where you're at, where you're going, and any lingering questions or things that we didn't
Mm-hmm.
cover that you still would like a little more information on. So, Kitty, do you want to elaborate on that, or?
I mean, that's the structure, and we've set it up to say, please, 2 for 1, bring a friend. And to the people who are watching it, this might not be for you because you feel like you have enough background, but we all know those people who could use a little extra and say, hey, this is available. This will kind of give you kind of an idea where you want to go. That's why it's called Navigate Your Awakening. It's a Spirit 101. It's also to talk about some of the ethics that are harder to figure out. What are the rules that exist on how we treat each other, how we answer readings. This is a time of co-creation.
Yes, it
Um,
is.
Whether we go kicking and screaming to it, but this is going to be about groups and our dynamics in groups and how we work with our own family dynamics we bring into groups. And so this is a class too, so we can talk about some basics that everybody knows and can work with it. It starts, Christy, the 22nd. I think I sent you the
Next
flyer,
Tuesday.
but I'll send you, which is next Tuesday. And you know, if you're out there listening, if this sounds like if it's sounding like something for you,
Mhm.
why not try it? It's a 6 week commitment, but again, there are 3 instructional weeks with a week in between to have a discussion about what the so one is instruction, week 2 is just a regular Zoom conversation with the people in the
Mhm.
class, week 3 instruction, week 4, and so on. And it really is to just kind of get some basics, agree on some best practices, and to just get some basic information that isn't Google. Um, so, a lot of you will. I said Google and my phone spied on me,
Oh,
and Google
yes,
came
Kitty,
up.
what do you want? And the
Um,
other thing too, Kitty, I was thinking about here too, is that I wanted to mention is that it will be taped. So if for some reason you can't make one of the classes, have it available to you to watch. Like maybe you can't make the discussion or something like that. It'll be available for you to watch and still be able to hear the questions and the comments that were made.
and if you're just a one person, honestly, I'm
We
sure we
can
have a
figure
couple.
it out.
We'll figure it out. We'll make the money work. That is just a way for us to do that. But again, it's $99 for 2 people.
Yeah.
So it's a little less than $50 each if you can bring a friend. And honestly,
Mhm.
we'll figure it out the other way. We might
Yeah.
have this single and this single, but
Yeah.
it really is just kind of an overview for people that come into groups or they don't feel like they can come to spirit communication on Tuesday nights because they don't know enough. This
Yeah.
is a great kind of launching, or they don't think they listen to a lot of the free programs, but they don't feel comfortable talking at all. This might be a
Mhm.
great time to come in. What are some kind of rules for talking in the group? Or,
Mhm.
you know, um, so I think that that's a lot of different things that we can help bring. And we already have ideas for the second part of it once we start. So,
Because the
whatever.
mind is always turning. It's always churning.
Well, and we really do want to create a space where people come to check things out, to
Yeah,
do
right.
and find different information. So,
And that's why we made it 2 for 1 too, because we're like, sometimes people are a little braver, if you will, coming with someone that they know. Because we know, we've been there, everybody starts at a spot, you know what I mean?
yeah.
Nobody is born with all of this. Everybody comes in at the same starting point, and we just come in and we meet people that are at different levels. So,
And though there are soul sisters here to find, having one that you maybe been talking about or playing with, um, again, like I see Mary said, if you're just you and you really don't have anybody around then just come. We'll give you
that's,
the right price. Don't worry about it. But we wanted to kind of promote it. Bring a friend so
yeah.
that you're more comfortable and you can take risks. And,
Mhm.
it's going to be fun and it's just going to be a way to, well, how do I do this? Or, what's the
Mhm.
best
Mhm.
practice here? And even get more
Or I've
information
heard
to,
about this, but I don't really know a lot about it.
right.
Because there is a lot of good information out on Google, as Kitty says, and there's
And
some
YouTube.
not
Yeah.
so good information. And there's also just how many do you have to go through before you find the good information? So, what Kitty and I, when we designed this, when we thought about this class, is like, we looked back, we reflected on where we were at one time, and what were some of the things we wish someone would have told us. What
Yep.
were some of the things we wish we would have known? Rather than trial by fire, like, oh, well, we jumped into that. So now we know somebody told us no, 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 or, you're doing it right, or maybe not. So we want to make that easier. So you don't have to go and search all these websites. You can come to this one class and get most of those basics out of the way. And we're open for questions. So if we don't cover something you really want to know about, that's what the
Yeah.
discussion is for.
And every single one of our speakers, if you ever go to the playlist on YouTube and listen, they tell us their story. And every single one talks about, well, I was kind of isolated here and I didn't really know. And so I put it on the back burner and it was just waking up. Well, what a great thing. And again, you've got friends out there I know who are asking you questions. Hey, let's just take this,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'd love to give you a money back guarantee because I know it's going to be something that you really are going to. Because honestly, all of our guest speakers have identified the same things we're talking about. So,
Exactly.
very
Exactly.
few.
And there's no way that it can't be a barrel full of monkeys and a lot of fun because it's Kitty and I. Come on. We are
It'll be
fun.
fun. We are fun. So,
We are
it'll even be fun homework. It'll be really interesting homework because we've done some of these exercises with people, and they go, what a different. You start to learn. So, um, you
all
know,
right.
we're trying to save you the trial by fire approach.
Mhm.
So, and find some more
Yeah.
confidence. Yeah. So,
Yes.
anyway, I don't think there's anything else. We'll repost. Please share the poster if you're maybe not you, but you know someone.
Mhm.
Um, and we have the details. It it's going to be on. Thanks, Stephanie. It's going to be starts the 22nd. It's every Tuesday, and it's going to be from 7:30 to 9.
No,
Um,
7 to 8:30. We
I'm
switched.
sorry. Sorry, we switched it. 7, and I keep forgetting we switched it. 7 to 8:30, so we have time to run before 9 because we go on to Spirit Communication. That's why we switched it.
That's
So it's going
right.
to
I
start at
agree.
7 Eastern Standard Time. It will meet the same every week for the next 6 weeks. So
Mhm.
there's the instruction week on the 22nd. The next is a open Zoom to just have a conversation.
Mhm.
Um, and it'll be for that 6 weeks. So, for $50, 6 weeks, it's a little
Yeah.
more than $10 a week,
Yeah. No, I
that should
think
make
it's
you,
going to be great.
yeah.
And
So,
then you can stay for Spirit Communication because we have a blast. We have
yeah.
a blast at Spirit Communication. So we'll
But
help
you don't
you
have
bring
to.
anything new. No, you
You
don't
don't
have
have
to.
to.
No, no, no. I'm just saying you can. I said you can.
Yes,
I
you
said you,
can. You know,
you're
and
welcome to.
we'll have had some of these discussions, so maybe you can try some of these things with it. So,
Right.
um, so there's thanks, Ariel. Yeah, spirit communication is fun, and having some of the same structures we've already put into spirit communication to make it fun. And again, we have a concentration for safe spaces, and one of our motivations for doing this is to help everybody kind of have the same rules for what safety looks like,
Yeah.
and what politeness looks like, and what we're
Mhm.
all working on. You're welcome. So, anyway, so again, thank
All
you
right.
for the reminder. It's Tuesday nights. It will be at 7, starting the 22nd. $99 for 2 people. If there's any issues with money, just reach out to us. That's,
Yeah.
that's the least of our concerns here.
Yes.
We would like to get, you know, this
Yeah.
going because we think it's something that we'll keep
Yeah.
doing on a regular basis. Yeah.
And on the poster is a QR code. And if you scan the QR code on the poster, that leads you to that leads you right to the registration. It also gives you a link to our PayPal and our website, or not website, our Gmail. So if you have a question or you need to put something in there. So it's done really easily. If for some reason you have a phone, you don't have a computer, you can't scan the code, just go to our Gmail address. And we can send you the registration.
And our
So.
Gmail address is intuitionofthesoul11@gmail.com. Usually we have it going across the bottom, but
And
that's the
I think you can find that right on our page too. So.
yeah, and that's the energy of the day anyway. It's just kind of the way it's going. So, and that's one thing we talk about. What happens when you have nights like this,
Oh my God.
So, but
you laugh, anyway, you find the joy, and you just go with the flow.
And you send out that vibration versus, the other one that's more dense. So, love you too, Joanne. But anyway, please reach out, invite friends, let them know, and we will go from there,
All right.
Navigate your awakening, the Spirit 101. So.
All right, and share the poster. I think you made it shareable, right, Kitty? So they can share it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
if they think they know someone. Okay.
And of course, if you never, by the way, for all those digital immigrants out there, well, first of all, congratulations, Amy, for putting the QR code on. Very proud of her for that. Bye, Christy. And for you digital immigrants out there like me, if you ever can't make something shareable, just screenshot it. And then make it become shareable automatically. Sometimes it takes you a while to figure that out,
Oh, hilarious. So. Okay.
All right. Okay. Bye, everyone. Thank you very much.
I guess I got to shut off the broadcast. Okay.
Aloha. Oi.